What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Gamers for Life podcast, where each and every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday discussing all games, things games, talking that gaming shit. I'm one of your hosts, Jarrell. With me is the Ace Combat 7 stud, Arthur Thomas. What's good, man?
Nothing much. Enjoying the world of Steam sales, man. Ace Combat 7. I love the Ace Combat series. And I got the fucking Maverick Edition on sale for $5
Oh, man.
during the last spring sales. So started streaming that, and yeah, man, just loving my Game Ready D and fucking Steam sale life over here.
Yeah. Of course, I have to say rest in peace to the Iceman himself, Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But oddly enough, I didn't even plan that. I kind of forgot he died until you said that. I woke up, started taking a shower. I don't know, was craving Ace Combat, as
Yeah.
most men do in the shower. So wanted to save the world. It's like, what do you think about when the water hits your face? I want to save the fucking world. How do I want to save the world? As a Necromancer in Path of Exile 2? No. As an Archer in Dragon Age Origins? No. I want to save it in the fucking skies. So I've been a huge fan of the Ace Combat series.
Yeah.
Quick tangent, but worth it. I'm telling you, more people need to try to Ace Combat, man. Try to get a port or something of Ace Combat 2 and Ace Combat 0. I know when people think of like great soundtracks and great stories, they think of most, JRPGs, RPGs, which is absolutely fair. I'm not gonna deny you that. But I still say Ace Combat 2 and Ace Combat 0 still has one of my favorite gaming soundtracks to this day.
Yeah.
The Devil's Roundtable, it's so cool, Drill. Like, picture a giant crater in the earth, right? And so when you go there, it fucks with your radar. So it's just pretty much your missiles are fucked. It's a dogfight. And when you go into the mission, you clear like 3 planes. But by this point in the story, in the war, you've made a name for yourself. And then like 20 plus fucking planes descend on you, and fucking Spanish guitar music of Spanish acoustic guitar starts playing, and that's your duel music where your alarms are going off. Pull up, low level, missile lock, missile lock. It's just so all your flares are going off, shit's going
Yeah.
crazy. You're just
Sounds
listening
like
to
the 80s.
you're just listening to like Spanish dueling guitars. Dude, I'm telling you, like Ace Combat Devil's Roundtable is still one of my like favorite moments too, because it builds up. The song builds up. It's like, beep, we got some bogus radar. Beep, 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 da, 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 da. And then I know sometimes you can like use oysters or clams, but like they're called like castanets, not maracas,
Right.
like castanets. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And so you're in your moment, you're like oh shit, ah! And if you're playing with like a headset, like that was probably my top 10 immersed moments in gaming ever. Was the first time I played Ace Combat 0, the round table mission,
Yeah.
when that Spanish acoustic guitar music just starts popping off. Yeah, it's up there with like Mass Effect 3's Battle for Earth, where all the fleets you've aligned with just start coming out of warp, and you hear
Oh,
the General Hackett give that speech to take back Earth. Like I said, that moment in gaming for me is right up there. So,
Nice.
so that's what I was reminiscing on as I was starting my day in the shower. Like I said, what are you doing? Hey, hon, why does it take you so long to take a shower? Guys are normally clean. While I'm cleaning myself, I'm pondering how to save the fucking world. Okay, like a goddamn man. So yeah, I got a few hours in Ace Combat. Before it crashed, that was my first actual hard crash too. Like stream froze, game froze,
Oh,
control.
shit, really?
Dude, Task Manager failed me, and if you do Control Delete and Task Manager does not work, you're like, oh,
Yeah, some shit fucked up.
shut down, shut down. Like, pull the plug, dude. When your task manager fails you, you're like, oh no. That's when you start sweating bullets. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what's going on? So that's why my Steam kind of ended semi abruptly.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, my camera was working for a bit, so I was here like, oh, something froze. I'm gonna go check it out, and then
Yeah.
And I think in the stream, I'm like, hey guys, I'll be back. I wasn't back. It crashed. So I'll play some more after we wrap here.
Oh, okay, right on. Yeah, you've always talked about too, like the story being really dope in Ace Combat as well. Like it's
Mhm.
super underrated. You're like, this is so good. You know, you're
Highly.
talking about this stuff. So I'm like, oh shit.
The Ace Combat franchise is kind of like Gundam in the sense that the base stories, like the base set like plot points are kind of the same. So like in Gundam, it's usually Earth versus the colonies, right? In some form. Just to some form that's the iteration of most Gundam stories. Gundam Wing, the fucking Blood Orphans, all this, all that stuff we know. It's usually like Earth versus the colonies getting their own rights or vice versa. One's a tyrant, the other's a tyrant. So with Ace Combat, the franchise is kind of like that. There's semi continuity, but not a lot. Um, so it's like the country of Osea, which is like the faux America, the nation of Eurasia, which is faux Russia, faux modern day Russia. Then there's Usia, which is like faux old school Soviet Union shit. And usually the premise is a meteor hit the earth and fucking decimated usually Usia. Like just think of like old school, breadline, fucking old school, furry snow hats, Usia, Russia, right? And that's usually how it kicks off. Is a meteor hits the earth, hits this nation, and in some form war kicks off. Um, and that's kind of what's happening here. That's usually the premise. But like I said, the characters and the stories really develops it. But the last thing I'll say about Ace Combat, which is why I know like, some people don't like it, and I can see why. Ace Combat's like kind of like Godzilla. Godzilla, the very first movie since day one, has been about the characters and the people. This the setting is a giant lizard is attacking the world. Like the very first Godzilla movie was an allegory about nuclear armament in Japan after the country was devastated from nuclear armament. So Ace Combat's kind of like that. It's like Ace Combat's like you go for the jet fights, you stay for the story. That being said, if you want to skip through all the cutscenes and just go like, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. I want to blow jets up in the sky. You can. You can skip every fucking cutscene. Um, but like I said, that's why I was kind of describing it like Godzilla in the stream. Like I said, some people don't like that, but it's how it is. Like I knew what Ace Combat is. I know what Godzilla is. You're expecting a lot of fucking monsters, but there's gonna be a lot of story, a lot of characters too. It's kind of like Ace Combat. You're
Yeah,
expecting a lot of fights. There is gonna be a lot of fights, but a lot of really good characters, a lot of crazy stories. So
yeah,
Ace Combat 7 is it's really good. Like one of the prologue missions I just finished during the stream is I had a is your character had a I did a friendly fire incident where I killed the plane escorting the former president. So now I'm on a prison base and that prison base getting attacked. So now I'm taken to the skies again as a prisoner. Or my joke in the stream was, "Hey guys, guess we're the Suicide Squad," because now you're a bunch of prisoners going up to defend this prison base.
that's
So
funny.
like I said, it's cool. I can't think of another game where you play as a character that killed the president, killed the ex-president.
Yeah,
So, so
and that's really
um,
good. I mean, that's a pretty solid analogy too, as far as the Godzilla the
yeah,
comparison. It's a pretty fair analogy too. That makes a lot of sense. Man, yeah, it's funny. I haven't gotten to my Steam sales to play them again either because I was telling you I picked up a couple things. You know, I picked up fucking It Takes Two, No Way Out, the RoboCop game that was super cheap, 2K25. But I've been playing the finals, the
yeah.
Rise Source game. It's actually really fun. I
It's
didn't
very
want.
vertical.
Yeah, it's very vertical. It's like it's very like it's a very like just like cut down like this is what you need to do, but it does it really well, you know. And the destructible environments is fire is really
I
dope.
knew you were gonna talk about that. I
Yeah.
knew when you got into the finals. I didn't want to spoil it for you, but not spoil, but like egg you on. But I'm like, oh, Drell's playing the finals. Ooh, I know he's scratching some Battlefield 2 vibes, some Battlefield Bad Company 2 itches.
Well,
Oh, you can blow up a wall. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff.
you know what's funny? I because Church said the same thing to his credit, and I said, you know, I don't compare it really to Battlefield too much, even though it's destructible environments, just because like the mission of getting to the vault to get the fucking money to cash it out is such like an intense thing. It's like I
Oh
don't
yeah.
even think about the environments, but the destructible environments adds a whole new complexity. Like there is a moment where you put the money in the cash out machine, you're waiting for it to like load up or whatever, and then someone fucking puts a bomb under where the cash thing is and blows it down and steals the money. It's like what the fuck? Like it just creates a whole other complexity. And then like the different you'll have like a glob grenade where you throw it and it creates like this huge wall around to like prevent whoever's getting into it. Like one person has like a turret, and like it's actually designed pretty well. You only have one, like you have like a grenade, a couple of other things, but you can only have one weapon. You can only choose one weapon. So it's not like Call of Duty where you can switch or whatever and swap weapons. Like you have one weapon to choose from and that's it. But it's actually it's pretty it's done really well. It's made really well. And most of the time, I have pretty decent players like playing online. Like even though I obviously I'm playing with randos, but like everyone seems to be like they know what it is. You know, it's not like Call of Duty where like some asshole sits like in the corner of the map to try to like shoot whoever responds. You know, so it's pretty cool. I got to get you in a game sometime because I think you'd fuck with it. You'd really like it.
Maybe it's because I when the fad of like shooters like that were kind of at its peak. I say when I don't mean peak, I don't mean in terms of fandom. I mean in terms of games that are being chort, like just fucking dumped on us. Like there is a game I forgot because it was already shut down. Not Valorant, but it was under their V name. I think it was I forget what company it was made by. Maybe Ubisoft. Um, Same thing. It was a very vertical based game. A lot of wall jumping, a lot of wall, poof boosters. Bacon and I used to play it a little bit, and then I stopped playing because I knew early on. I'm like, it's it was fun, but I'm like, it's oversaturated market. So that's the thing with me is like I'm not saying the game's bad, but I don't know. I get nervous trying to invest too much potential, like I'm gonna say fun, into a game that's dependent on other players having fun too.
I mean,
That
I
makes
think
sense.
because it's so like I don't want to say it's entirely vertical. To some degree it is, but some of the maps are fairly open. But um, I think because the objective is very specific and like, and it's not like Battlefield where it's an open world and you have the objectives. So like some people just go and fuck off, right? And then you got people that are like, no, guys, the objective, come on, let's go. You know what I mean? This one is narrow in a sense where it's like, if you're not doing anything, you'll just be kicked and they'll just add somebody else in. So most people they are.
Okay. Oh, you can kick.
Yeah, well, I think like the system, like it just kicks you if you're just not doing
Oh,
any movement.
I thought you can vote to kick
I
people.
think
I'm
you
like,
can. I
I'm
think you
like,
can vote. I think you can vote to kick too. I haven't done that, but it's pretty active when it comes to like seeing if people are actually monitoring. Because every game that I've played, I haven't really had anybody where I'm like, bro, like, are you gonna cover me as I fucking like, run the box or whatever? Like most people are actually like they're actually doing the objective with you, which is dope. So, but yeah, I would try. I mean, it's like Church would say, but I would say he's right in this event. Like, try it. Like, you can just uninstall it if you don't want to, and I think it's worth installing because it is pretty fun. But yeah, I mean, it's always there. It's a live service game, so if it's that good, it'll still be around when you decide to try it.
well, here's the thing. Funny enough, I just put it in our group chat with you, me, Bacon, all the group, is because I used to play World of Warships a lot. World of Warships was very fun. And the makers of World of Warships have a new game that's out now on Steam free via early access called Steel Hunters. That was one of the robot games that was one of the robot games, one of the two robot games that was shown during the one conference where we all were watching. We're like, oh, that's sick. So one of those games via early access is available now called Steel Hunters. It's by Warship Gaming,
Okay.
Wargaming, which is by the same people that do World of Warships and World of Tanks.
Oh, you
So,
love those games. You gonna give it a shot?
huh?
You gonna give it a shot? You gonna try it out?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Like I said, it's free. And that's the thing. It's like it's weird, but like, hey, do you want to run forward as a human and shoot? I don't know. Do you want to be a giant battleship, the USS Wyoming? Yes. um. So, um.
I'm
So
looking at
I
an
might.
armor core to go down because eventually I do want to buy that from Software's armor core. It's waiting
It's on
for it
my
to
wish
be
list.
cheap. Yeah, I want for that to be cheap. But I'm sorry, cut you off.
Because it's cooperative too. But But yeah, so Steel Hunters, or you know what, we might, one of these days, you and I, when the schedule lines up, we might play a little bit of both. We might play, hey, let's try finals and let's try Steel Hunters and
Yeah, I'm
see
down
what's
for that.
up.
I'm down for that.
They're both free on Steam. I downloaded Steel Hunters.
Mm,
I That's what I was going to play, in fact. And then I had a little itch, boop, come up for Ace Combat.
yeah. Dare I say, free to play games, obviously the biggest conundrum is like they kind of have to do the fuck shit for like the servers to stay open. But some free to play games are actually pretty fun. They're not just like awful, like fair games like Eat the Rich. Like this is bullshit, you know?
That one, what's that game called?
Fair games. It's not even out yet. It's being pushed back a bunch of times, but we just like we smelled the bullshit from like a mile away for that one. But yes,
Oh yeah, the PlayStation game. Yeah,
yeah,
the PlayStation game. Oh, where the S is a dollar sign.
yeah. It's like a worse version than Watch Dogs. You know, like at least Watch Dogs, like the first one at least I can speak to, had like a pretty cool, interesting story. They were thinking about making it a movie, but I think they scrapped it. But yeah, I was like, this game is not gonna do well. You know, it was one of the 12 fucking live service games that were supposed to be out that year.
God,
Jim
fucking
Ryan was fucking up
PlayStation.
everything.
Eat the rich. Buy the battle pass now.
Right, right, exactly, exactly. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? And then speaking of sticking it to the man, you've been doing a live stream, which has been really fun. You did a couple of these for this indie game, made by one person, and it's over 400,000 people have been playing it on Steam. Schedule One. How did
So
you?
good.
How did you come about? How did you find out about that game?
Same way I came across Helldivers, man. Algorithms, clips, shorts, reels, YouTube videos. Like I said, a tangent we won't go down because we talked about it a million times. The best way to reach a true buyable audience that spends their money isn't game journalism. It's other gamers having fun.
Yeah,
Gamers recognize bullshit. So when they see like, like to a point, kind of funny, IGN, other like video games journalists, even if their opinions aren't wrong, there's just minimal distrust there. You know what I mean? There just is. It's just, even if like, hey, they made 10 main points, all 10 for 10 points are right. Most people nowadays are still be like, well, I don't know. Let me just hit let me just search videos on YouTube and hit shorts. You know what I mean? Um, and look, and they look at their favorite like streamers or YouTubers, like like the old, like I won't say OGs because they're getting older, but like like Vanos, um, Smitty, that whole group, because those are people like I watch sometimes. Um, or even just regular like like quote unquote small people. You know what I mean? Like us, like that's really what got me into, because that's what got me into Helldivers. Like I said, that's what got me into Helldivers. That's what bought me to buy a PS5. Is people watching, like to this day you can watch any clip in Helldivers and you're like, God damn, that game is cinematic as fuck, and you're just like, I want to play it. Um,
yeah,
and that's kind of what happened with Schedule One. Is it looked fun? Um, it's cooperative. It's not a full price game. Um, I got on sale, so I got it for $16 instead of 20. Um, and yeah, bacon. And that's the thing, when it comes to these cooperative indie games that are like 15, $20, all you need is that one homie be like, yo, you pull the trigger, I'll be your ride or die. Let's fucking go. So when Bacon said, fuck it, I'm downloading right now, I'm like, I'll see you on 20 minutes, man. Let's go. And
nice.
that's all it takes. It's all it takes. It's just one homie being like, let's fucking no life it. And
Mhm.
it ticked a lot of boxes for me because Bacon and I used, like a lot of people used to do like the Minecraft server thing during COVID, and all the little, what I call this for myself, the work I do. I called it like dumb bitch work because it was like, what do you need to get done? Like you guys do all the hard stuff. You go fight the dragon. You go do all the, you go get this. I'm gonna dig a hole and mine like hundreds of iron. It's simple work. It's yes, it's simple, but it's gotta get done. Someone's gotta fucking do it. So I was that guy. It's like, so again, like Bacon's like killing the Ender Dragon and shit. Bacon's like fighting all these like mobs like the Enderman, things like that. And I'm just in my hole. Oh, go to bed, guys. Wake up. Dig a hole. Dig a hole. Dig a hole. Dig a hole. So when I saw the mechanics of like growing your product mixing it, packaging it. I'm like, oh, I'm in. Like that's simple. Those simple types of tasks where you can like mentally clock out, but you're still having fun. Like I said, to a point, like Minecraft, is the best way to describe it. That's why I knew I'd had fun. Because I knew, and especially if you have friends that know how they play, worked out perfectly, Drill. Like you've seen the streams, Bacon's the one like leveling up and mixing stuff. Bacon's the one making new customers. I'm just a simple man that lives in a hole that grows, waters, and cultivates our product. That's all I do.
Yeah.
Simple, nice work. I could just kill hours doing it.
You guys are so entertaining on the stream too, because like just your guys' like personalities, like it just connect so well with that game and stuff, and so like watching it was just so fun. You know what I mean? So fun, and then like I was like, because first I was like, what is this game? You know, and then I was like, oh wow, it goes really in detail as far as like how you make the product. you know?
It's a lot. Like that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like I said, for me, it ticked a lot of itches of Minecraft. It's like, okay, you need a pickaxe. Okay, work backwards. You need iron to make an iron pickaxe. You need iron. Okay, well, how do you get iron? You gotta smelt it through a furnace. Okay, before all that, you gotta get cobblestone. Okay, how do you do that? You need wood. How do you do that? You punch a tree. And it's kind of like that. You start out schedule one by punching a tree, by, you know, having your RV blown up. Clearly a lot of Breaking Bad references. Um, it's a good game. There's enough of a tutorial to set you on your path. And there is like sort of a story to it in the sense that you have like main missions which progress your game. Um, you can level up. Leveling up unlocks more things to buy. Um, you can get new businesses. So like I said, it has enough of those elements where it's not just a true copy and paste gameplay loop. Like, oh, you played 1 hour, you played the whole game. No, you get to try new stuff. And Jarrell, man, those when Bacon was mixing the product and then the weed, and it's like anti-gravity shit, night vision, energetic shit. It's so fun. Like it's just really fun because it's enough of like not saying a fantasy because the game's very realistic, not in terms of graphics. Because again, in modern gaming, no one gives a shit about graphics. Um, so, but it's realistic in the sense that there's cops and it takes place in the modern, it takes place in a semi-modern day. And then all of a sudden you smoke, all of a sudden you're smoking this anti-gravity weed, and you're jumping over houses. Yeah, I mean, so it's really fun, man. It's one of those games you can play by yourself, but it's exponentially better if you play with friends. It's only on PC. It's only on Steam Early Access. It's up to 4 players cooperative.
Oh, it's up to 4 players. Oh, crazy, crazy, crazy.
So if you got $20 blowing a hole in that pocket, Drill, shit, pull through.
I'll think about it. I will definitely think
No rush,
about
but again, it's 20. It's like I said, that's the cool thing, man.
it. Yeah.
No rush, but it's $20. I will say because it's an early access, the servers are host based, which
Okay.
is another reason why it's kind of like a Minecraft server. Because a Minecraft server, you can have a setting where if it's my world, that world does not exist unless I'm online playing. That's kind of how Schedule One is. I can create my own world, but in order for me to go back into Bacon's world that I was helping him on, Bacon has to be online and invite me to it. Now, because it's an early access, that may change when it fully releases. But I'm having fun. The game's only made by one person. I'm cool with waiting. Shit.
Yeah, and I feel like one of the beauties of what you described too is that you are getting that PC experience that like I've been like kind of appreciating a little bit by bit, and like and like while like your reservations on PC are still valid, I feel like there's still a validity to it. But I'm just glad that you got that like okay, this is why people do PC, like, where it's like cheap game on Steam, like a great game that's 4 player co-op or whatever, and you have this powerful system where you can go super indie or super like high graphics if you wanted to, you know what I mean? So it's just like, and then obviously Steam sales, like the biggest like give like takeaway, the Steam sales, and then just having access to every fucking like platform or whatever. It's a pretty much except for like Nintendo stuff, which we'll talk about on the show. But yeah, man,
Mm.
it's good shit.
Steam and Indie are killing right now. Like one of the other top Steam games right now is Repo. Yeah, I mean that's kind of like Lethal Company, but not. Another great Steam game. So it's like, again, it's like all these AAA companies are just focusing on graphics and performance, which is to a point valid. But clearly, when some of the best games are, fucking, I like the Iron Man meme about Schedule One. It's like 400. It peaked at like 400,000 concurrent players. Um, I like the Iron Man meme of like Tony Stark did it in a cave, and it's like, what I mean, like Schedule One had more people than some of the triple A games that just came out. Repo's killing it. Um, yeah, man, happy finally. Happy Newegg had some sales around Cyber Monday to have me finally pull a trigger and buy a gaming PC. Happy for it, man.
Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely. I remember I was telling you about this too before. Off air. I'm really considering getting ROG Ally. ROG Ally or Steam Deck. I think I'm leaning towards ROG Ally just because I can do more things. Like it could be like an all-in thing for me. I could do gaming on a desktop, or I could do on the go, and it can support both and do both. I can even do music on it too. So, and then I can even play like Schedule One with you, like wirelessly, like, which is like crazy to think about. I can plug my headset to it and have a good time. So definitely lean towards that. If you are watching this, by the way, hello. Be sure to like and subscribe on the channel. Definitely would appreciate that. That is where Arthur does the amazing streams that he does. Got it to that 40 subscriber number there. So congrats to you, sir. Appreciate your streaming stuff. I know you do it just to stream to have fun, but it always is a cool thing as far as for that as well. And then everything else here for as far as Gamers for Life, you can go to linktree.com/Gamers for Life. That's the one-stop shop link as far as for like our episodes or for supporting our show or whatnot. So, and here at the Gamers for Life podcast, you can read the news. Or watch the news as you watch it, or to watch and listen to what you choose. But click on the links of the time code within the description. I fucked that up terribly, but it's fine.
Stock the land, yeah, like that one Olympian that broke her leg on the landing, still fucking stuck it. My ankle's broken in 3 places, but I did great.
Let me correct myself here. We read the news while you watch or listen when you choose by clicking on the links to the time code within the description of the episode. So you can go for the topics that you want to, care about to watch, or you can hang out with us here at the Gamers for Life podcast. And today, of course, got to talk about this little son of a bitch behind me, the Nintendo Switch, which there's just crazy leaks around the way. And they finally just said, fuck it, we'll just drop everything. This is what it is, and obviously they did this via Nintendo Direct, middle of the fucking week, I think, or was it on a Monday, like a Monday super early?
I have a job. I didn't fucking watch it. I didn't watch it live. I'm not. Yeah. It's like, I have a job, but I watch it too. I mean, fucking live. It's like when all these conferences are like Tuesdays at like noon. I'm like, fuck you, dude. Like, put them on a Sunday. I mean,
right? Yeah, or at least like maybe like a Thursday, like afternoon. Like even that's like tolerable because I feel like Thursday in the work life, at least for Americans, it's like Thursday's like cleanup day.
It's pre-Friday. Thursday night.
Yeah,
Thursday after lunch is pre-Friday in the American workspace.
Or Saturday morning, right? I remember when Xbox they had a conference Saturday morning. We're like, perfect,
you and I had to wake up early and set alarms. We're like, fuck it, we'll set an alarm on a Saturday. Yeah. But yeah, so the Nintendo had their direct for the Switch 2, and it's coming, and I think there's a lot of takes on this. Do you want to talk about the direct first? Because I got a larger kind of side tangent about the future, of pricing because of what the Switch 2 has done.
Yeah, that's kind of my that was kind of my just like big thing to tackle. But I guess we'll start with as far as like just like the bare bones things. Switch 2, it's gonna launch June 5th. Or supposedly that's when the date is. Nintendo says that the date is still there, regardless of the things that we will talk about here in just a bit. But But yeah, so just after kind of saying that, I want to make sure that I say that it is have a release date. Um, and it's 449 as well. But yeah, I'll start with you, Arthur. Tell me a little bit as far as kind of how you feel about all this stuff, and yeah.
Um, so I think that so the start of the direct, which will be the quick thing, because for those that don't know, we both really only watch the direct because we can talk about it here. We're not Nintendo customers. Nothing against it. Just not our lane. It's just not. Um, so we'll both. I think I can speak for both of us, Drell. Neither of us are gonna buy it.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's no reason to.
Um, other colleague who's with FanBam, Church, he's gonna buy it day one. I'm betting. That's my educated guess. But for Drell and I, we're not big Nintendo customers. Not the Nintendo, just not our thing. Um, the Direct, I will say, minus the Switch 2. Well, you can't really talk about the elephant in the room, but games. I think that was an amazing Direct. I think it was the craziest fucking mic drop to have an exclusive from software game coming to the Switch 2. And Sony customers are pissed because it looks like Bloodborne 2. And Sony, through various articles and interviews, just so for some reason, Sony people just are fucking assholes to From Software. Like, like Gerald, I remember those articles were like, I forget, don't quote me, but they're like, they were rude. You know what I mean? I don't know if do you remember the article? Do you remember
I no, I do know that like they responded very like just like to what tongue in cheek is that the term?
yeah, like
Yeah.
they didn't have enough. They didn't. Sony didn't expect From Software to succeed early on, and then even throughout their success, Sony like was still just very tongue in cheek, very just like, whatever, fuck you guys, were Sony. And then From Software, I think From Software, man, I said this a while back in a few episodes, Trail. I still stand by it, which I said From Software, I think, is still one of the best, if not the best, AAA company in gaming right now.
Yeah.
I think it's insane that PlayStation is taking down fan remakes of Bloodborne 2, and look what the fuck happens. A quote unquote Bloodborne 2, with the aesthetic and the world choice, is coming exclusively to the Switch 2. That's insane. From Software, I would say maybe second to GTA 6. From Software games are the most sought after games by far. So there was that. And then they quietly had a bunch of other cool drops, like the Donkey Kong game. And out of nowhere, Drell had like 15, maybe 30 seconds of gameplay. Hollow Knight Silksong is going to exist. That
Oh
was just
yeah,
the
that's the game that Church is like it's
where,
coming out. I know it's coming out soon.
well, a lot of people were like, "Where the fuck is it?" We've heard nothing, no tweet, no image, nothing. And also out of nowhere just shows up in a Switch 2 conference. That was the other thing where Hollow Silksong, it won't be exclusive, but for that game to show up during a Nintendo Direct, every now and again Nintendo just has crazy fire announcements. Like, even I know the game ended up flopping in terms of financial because no one bought it, but you remember when they announced Bayonetta 3 at that one Nintendo Direct? That was a really good Direct
Oh
too.
yeah, yeah. And everyone's like, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as far as the Direct goes, they knocked out of the park. Knocked out of the park. Okay. Switch 2. Uh, I think that the Switch, Nintendo, and the Switch 2 have created a domino effect that we're going to start seeing more and more in gaming. Not now, but I'd say by the end of next year, it's going to be a norm that the price of games goes up. Um, it's weird because they addressed something in gaming pricing that a lot of people have asked for a while. And a lot of people have asked, hey, if there's little to no frontline manufacturing involved, why aren't digital games priced cheaper than physical copies? It's a valid question. And Nintendo said, "We hear you, but fuck you, it's still more expensive." So I think the fact that Nintendo's two Switch games, which are by far the least powerful of any console in the market, it's not as powerful as Xbox, not as powerful as PC, not as powerful as PlayStation, now has the most expensive games in the market with $80 digital, $90 physical. I think the CEO of Take Two is drooling and has a boner right now because that he's the guy that was kind of considering or publicly considering making GTA 6 cost $100. And we were like, what? Fuck you, asshole. And now, Switch 2 games, which are, again, not, I'm not saying they're not bad. They're just hilariously not strong graphic frames, GPU powered games. The fact that they're going to cost $90 for a physical copy, bro, I think by the end of next year, we're going to start seeing a price hike throughout other developers and publishers. So by the way, it's not, there's not a, there is a correlation, Drill. There's 100% correlation that I'm diving more and more to my Steam library after I heard the price of games, or after I heard the price of Switch 2 games going up. There's absolutely a correlation to that shit. But that's my thoughts. I think we've seen the first domino of many to fall. Of we're about to see the price of games go up. I mean, it's in the air. CEOs are talking about it. Publishers are talking about it. It was all maybes and probablys and we're considerings and HR bullshit. But now here we are for the whole world. Switch 2 games are now up to $90.
Yeah. And I think I kind of want to talk about it inward and outward from my point of view on all of this. And definitely I think you make a lot of really good points on that. So consoles $449, right? $449.99, and I was watching the VGC podcast, which I was talking to you off air. I love that. I think it's such a good show. Like, and then like the main guys are Scottish, so like hearing their Scottish accents as they make jokes and talking about stuff, like it's just very endearing for me as an American. I'm like, oh, I like this, and they have pretty good content too. But I was listening to them talking about everything, and you know, uh the definitely when it comes to like the games look good, but 449 good. I mean, just from coming from someone like myself, where or just the customer base, where there's a bunch of other options that give you way more life cycle when it comes to just kind of having those type of devices. I mean, 449, like that was like OG, like PlayStation 4, like like type pricing. I don't know if and people will argue like, well, it is a console, you can put it on a dock too, but I don't know, that's quite a bit. And I think Nintendo is in a bind because they have profited on Switch so much over the years and been able to produce a console slash tablet, right? Android tablet, essentially, where they've been able to use this older technology and make it work with their software of their titles. For how long has it been? 5 years, Arthur? 5, 6 years since the release of the Switch 2?
A lot of that I'm Googling right now. Hold please.
Okay, right on.
Continue. Now hold.
Right on. Okay. But yeah, like the fact that they've been able to utilize such old technology and then have these first party games. And the biggest thing too is that, the most popular games obviously are going to be games that a company themselves made. And that's definitely 2017. Okay, thank you. So yeah, I mean, Jesus, that's what is that, 8 years, right? That's crazy, right? That's crazy money. And then obviously they outsold the PlayStation 2, and their profit margins I think were pretty solid, which is why they just continue to make products for that, regardless of whatever issues that they had as far as like Joy-Con drift and all that stuff. And they're just like, whatever, fuck you, you know what I mean? Like avoiding all that stuff. But now they've hit a bind where the cost of technology when it comes to parts, because it used to be where it's like every 6 months, the cost of things go down when it comes to computer parts or whatnot. That hasn't really happened ever since 2020. It's just the shit has been fucked up from a manufacturing perspective. And I think they're at a point now where, from the Switch times of them releasing their games that Nintendo made, which is a significant thing, like the profit of the games and the hardware, like even though the hardware they don't make much off of, but the games they can kind of encapsulate that, significant. But I think for the Switch 2, very different. Um, yeah, that's great. Yeah, $300 for the Switch 1. I I don't think they're really making any type of profit whatsoever off of the console. And I think that's why the games are so goddamn much. Now I'm not saying that it's warranted, but I think the reason why they're doing that, they must be breaking even or just losing money. I feel like they're just losing money with every console, and they're going to sell a shit ton. Like they designed this where you literally have people that are going to trade in their old shit, and get the new stuff. Like and this is like the Nintendo is the prime example of that, right? I would say out of Sony and Xbox, like trading in your old device to get the new shit, I feel like that is very much like Nintendo is the kings of that. So the fact that the console is $449, to me that tells me, okay, obviously there's a whole tariff situation, right? Which is definitely going to be impactful. But I think before the tariff situation, I think they were going to price this at $90 physical and $80 digital anyway. I think they're going to do that anyway, just because they're not making any money off of this console. They're probably losing a lot more money than the average company, more than like Sony would or Xbox would, selling at a loss. I think they're selling at a loss way more. And I think that is why they have released these prices up. And I think you do have a valid point as far as this is kind of pretty much a warning sign for the rest of the market. Like, yeah, like the industry were going to raise up the games. It was just kind of like, who's going to do it first, right? Who was going to pull the trigger on it? And it seems like Nintendo definitely has shot that warning sign. And the CEO of Take-Two, that son of a bitch, he he was saying some bullshit on there saying, oh, we don't want to we don't want to say the specifics on when Grand Theft Auto 6 will release yet because we want to make sure that it's going to be right for the customers, blah, 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 blah. Like, that's all bullshit. They just want to, 150 million, goddamn, as of February 4th, that's this year, crazy. So he's basically just like, we want to know when we can say this game's $100 plus, at the right time. Right? Like, that's like the real conversation. And I do think there's going to be the domino effect, as you say it so brilliantly, that this is going to have everyone pull the trigger. Fuck it, $80. Fuck it, this much money. Fuck it, this much money for games now. And this might potentially, they may try to apply some of this from a live service perspective. If they do, they're going to fail miserably. But from a console market, they kind of got everybody by the balls. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you really have no option but to do it unless you want to play it on a PC or something. So I think they are going to do it, and everyone, even just from obviously Nintendo's going to be doing it now, because I feel like they're losing way more money, on the Switch 2, which is why they're doing this. And then, like you said, Take-Two, Grand Theft Auto, that shit's going to be crazy money. I'm curious too. I want to ask you as well afterwards, after our Switch conversation, like, when do we feel like they're going to drop the bomb on how it's going to be $100+? Like, what month of the year are they going to do that? I'd say a month before the release, but yeah, this is a weird situation. Speaking to the console specifically, I mean, it looks fine. It looks more like the old one. It's just a little bit bigger, right? From a power perspective, I think it's going to play beautifully on Nintendo stuff. It having the ability to play other games. Like, I remember one of the journalists from VGC, he was saying, he was like, I was looking at it for Cyberpunk. He was like, I was kind of like disappointed. I'm like, it's doesn't really look like very good in comparison to like it being on like a ROG Ally or a Steam Deck or something. And you
What? Cyberpunk on Switch looks bad? No,
and it's
I'm
not
shocked, Drell.
and it's like it doesn't look terrible. It's not like you remember how like Mortal Kombat looked like on like Switch 1 where we're like, holy shit, this is fucking like disgusting to look at. Like it's not like that, but it's like say like you're playing a PC that's like, I don't know, 12 years old CPU and like a really like a 10-year-old
Hey,
GPU.
I
Like
have
it
a question,
runs.
Drell. What do you think looked worse? Cyberpunk or their laggy share screen bullshit they showed during Mario Kart?
Oh
It was
man,
lagging during the video.
that's crazy.
Like it was like you can now share a screen, and everyone's like, that's their best take. Like, like, uh, 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 go left,
Jesus.
red shell, fuck, God. Like that's their best. Like that's their dude. Like, sorry, Joe. So earlier when you were saying how they're dipping their feet in the live service, I laughed because I'm like, I don't know if they're dipping their feet in live service or more like taking a shit in the pool before they taste it. But dude, like Discord was made by like a handful of people. So how the fuck is Discord gonna have better screen share than the goddamn Nintendo?
Right. Yeah,
You
that's
know what I mean?
crazy. Yeah.
Like, and here's the thing too. Did anyone ask for that? The only time I've ever
Yeah.
used my screen share on PlayStation was when I had church help me like set up my PlayStation. Like, hey, church, I've had this console for a month. Um, Other than the Helldivers button and the settings button, what else can I do? That was the most I ever used my share screen button.
Yeah.
That and trying to figure out how to fucking add people in Monster Hunter Wilds.
Ah. Yeah.
Sorry, Drill. I know Monster Trials is a good game, but real quick, you and I dodged a bullet because that game has the most. They didn't fix a drill. Remember
Really?
that convoluted cooperative system. Not only is it still fucking convoluted for some fucking reason, you can't have your friends join you in all your missions. You can't have your friends join you on story missions. So
Jesus Christ.
I don't regret not buying Hunter Wilds. But
Yeah.
back to the Switch 2. Yeah, that share screen thing, no one asked for it. Now in-game chat. By the way, Gerald, that's another major breaking news. In 2025, something new has been discovered by Nintendo. Game chat. All right. Hold up. We all remember the Xbox 360 and the amount of shit like the Xbox 360, PS3, Call of Duty era.
Right.
Yeah, we remember game chat a lot.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know why Nintendo's trying to even remotely flex. Like, look what we can do. They're like the little brother that just, finally figure out how to play tic tac toe, and you're like playing chess. It's like,
Right.
oh wow, three circles in a row is a good thing, huh, Billy? Sorry, I think my brother, I think we dropped him on his head. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? In 2025, that's what you're flexing.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just sorry. If you're gonna have a console over $100 and it's just now getting game chat and showing laggy shared screen functions, yeah, like I said, we start this conversation, Drill. Shocker. You and I aren't buying it.
Yeah.
No.
It's just they have like I mentioned, they have the people that will buy it, like they got them by the nuts at this point, and then unfortunately they have to tie them into this, high price, of games and console, the games and whatnot. And I didn't know it was lagging that bad. I mean, that's kind of speaks to.
And
I wonder how old of tech is the Switch 2,
and,
right?
and here's the thing, Drill. You have to pay to play online. This isn't remember they have Xbox Live bullshit now. Remember that. So this isn't like, hey, it's a free option. No. you have to pay to use these servers. And that was the biggest justification during the Xbox 360 PS3 console war. Is constantly Sony customers would complain about their servers and how much their game would quit, shit like that. And Xbox customers, which I was a part of, was like, hey, you know what? Do I like paying to play online? But shit, the fact we got the best servers in gaming, it feels like it could have been a placebo. They could have been lying to us, but it did feel like your money was going to like better server tech shit. You remember, Joe? Like
Yeah.
PS3. Do you remember how annoying it was to like join a party like day one
Oh, for
PS3?
PlayStation 3? Jesus Christ. Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
was terrible. It
You
was
remember that shit?
terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
remember Xbox? Boop.
Seamless.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Seamless.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Software
again,
company making hardware versus hardware making software. You know.
and then where the fuck a Nintendo making shit that goes in your pocket, trying to go on your TV, and they can't fucking figure it out. um, so I
Yeah.
again, I'm not like fully knocking it. I know it's gonna sell.
Yeah.
Scalpers are already eyeing it as they should. Because if I'm not condoning, I'm just saying if you're a scalper, you're like, oh, I'm all over this shit. But like I said, I don't know. Coming from the, like I said, flexing shit that's been around since the Xbox 360, PS3, and they're doing it worse,
Right.
and you still have to pay online.
Yeah.
Nah,
They're
I'm
really
good.
no, you're absolutely right. They're behind. That was like the beauty of Nintendo was that they can kind of skip these like things that like everyone else has been doing to get profit because of like these cute little characters that people played, back since the 86 or whatever the fuck it was. But now that they want to do shit that we've been doing for the past 20 years when it comes to like game chat and all this stuff, and they're massively behind just because the technology isn't there like for them when it comes to what they have and what they're using. It's just not really there to be smooth and seamless. And then like for like throughout history of since like the Wii or whatever, like their online stuff, like it's been dismal. Like they're not masters at that for that particular platform, you know what I mean? So it's just, yeah, I feel like they're learning to walk when they're like 12 years old. you know
Hey, you know what? Up until Drill, they're the masters at crawling. No one hey, that 10-year-old, damn, that 10-year-old can crawl. But that 10-year-old can fucking lap that 5-year-old. Damn, dude. That 10-year-old crawls so fast. Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, it's like you were saying a hardware company makes software, a software company makes hardware. And it's like you have a publisher making hardware. If that's because I feel like up to this point, it's weird because Nintendo, like, when they stay in their lane with like portable shit, no one can top them. Now, other companies with a better hardware, the ROG Ally, the Steam Deck, coming out, and it's like the Steam Deck's how powerful, how good its servers, how good is its game chat, how good does it run Discord, which has screen share, and the Switch 2 drill is 50% more than the Switch 1. And nothing new has really been brought to the table other than, two console generation tech they're doing worse.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes, I feel like it's kind of like they've been speeding on the highway and throughout the city for years, right? And then they finally got pulled over. They finally got caught. So like, for example, like, handhelds, obviously nobody can touch them, right? But then also we have to remember, like, from like the OG early adopters, like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, crazy popular, great consoles, that went against everybody else. And then like the N64, one of the more popular consoles that they had, or arguably, one of the bigger consoles that they had that was huge, right? And then obviously the Wii was a big fucking thing. But it always stood within their lane because outside of this Nintendo world of like, oh, hee hee, like we were playing like first person shooters and like really complex RPGs and all this stuff and like online while everyone's on the hoo hoo hee hee You know what I mean? Like they were able to cut these corners because they were fitting a certain market. These characters are the same that they designed, right? So there's just more popular margins. But now in 2025, where they're finally they can't do the old tablet bullshit, right? Where it's like, okay, we kind of want to make something that's outside of our Nintendo world, and we want to be side to side with everybody else. But they're like,
You can't.
yeah, exactly. They can't, like, they're so behind. You know what I mean? They're so behind from that perspective, and maybe that's another reason why the games are going up, because they have to fix all of this shit. But I just feel like the hardware, they don't even have the hardware to even do it. You know? So like,
I
yeah,
I have a question. Do you think Nintendo even planned on having it come out this year?
I'm gonna say no.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
So remember what led us to this point. What's led us to this point of the console being quote unquote announced and quote unquote debuted is crazy third party vendor leaks. Not some like hacker of like, I took a picture of a box in Portuguese. Um no. What truly leaked in Nintendo Switch 2, like I said, was that vendor at a tech conference. I was like, "Hey, we're a third party Nintendo. Do you want to try our subsidiary licensed licensed accessories, third party accessories for the Switch 2?" I'm sorry, what the fuck did you just say? And then the other leaks that came from Nintendo was from Best Buy and GameStop. Like I forget who leaked what. Like either the price got leaked through Best Buy or the date got leaked through GameStop, but or vice versa. But so that's what I'm saying. It's like they got pushed into a corner. Nintendo has not been able to really release anything about their hardware. Not, it's like not song, soft, their hardware. Nintendo has had the everything about it leaked from retailers. Whether the fact is going to exist from the convention, the cost, and then the date. But remember, the date was like the third one. Whoever leaked what, it was like we knew this was going to exist. We knew blah 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 blah, and then GameStop, Best Buy fucked up. So that's what I'm saying. Like I said, Drill, in their direct, that share screen was laggy, and I really think it was not supposed to come out this year. I think it was supposed to come out early next year.
Yeah.
The Switch 3 launched. The Switch 3. Sorry, Switch 3. The Switch came out in March. That's why I was thinking of 3 March. The
Yeah.
Switch 1 came out in March. That's why I was thinking this console was supposed to come out in March too.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. It makes a lot of sense too. You know, everyone kind of forced their hand. Um, and this is a positive for GameStop actually, because it's like people have to, and then there's other retailers as well, physical retailers. You know, because you're gonna have a bunch of scalpers, right, that are gonna try to buy a bunch online or whatever, kind of like back in the quarantine days from the PlayStation 5. You know, and Phil, where Jim Ryan was like, "Oh yeah, we sold so much," you know, but like no one really tried to track down like all these scalpers. It was almost like an Nvidia situation. So like, are you like if you're not familiar with Nvidia, for like
Oh
anyone
my god,
listening,
that
yeah,
brings
like
back memories.
yeah, like I mean, this still happens. Like if a new video card comes out, seconds, it's sold out. And they're like, "Oh, I guess everybody bought it," when really they're selling this to
It's bot.
corporations.
It's
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
bots. It's
Yeah.
scalpers have got scalpers have represented to the modern days of the modern tech age, and it's bot systems. It's automated systems. It's just bot farms to just buy it out. So
Right, but like video,
yeah,
like Nvidia stuff specifically, like they're selling it to corporations. Like they're
yeah,
saying that like a people bought like it's bullshit. But yeah, the bots from like the fucking 2020,
like
like
yeah.
yeah, it's like dismal shit, you know. And then Jim Ryan's like, "Oh yeah, we sold some merch, they're so awesome," you know. So like for yeah, it's just yeah, it's ridiculous. This whole thing,
All,
this whole
all I'm
thing.
all I'm saying is, Drill. Now that we know the price of games is going to go up, uh indie, Steam, sales in any particular word, in any particular order, that's gonna be my shit for the foreseeable future, my friend.
Nice. So, like, 'cause it was funny. Like, I think we were talking about through the past couple episodes too, as far as like, I don't think we're gonna. We're like, I'll speak for me. I was like, I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna buy it like right away. You know, 'cause, like, it's gonna be super expensive. Like, I don't want to fuck with that Steam sales.
Yeah,
So, like, yeah, it seems like
there's
we're gonna be taking that direction.
there's not really one game coming out this year that I'm excited for. I mean I could say
That's
GTA
crazy to
6.
say because we're a third into the year, right? It's like there's still nothing
Yeah.
that's like, yeah, like really like besides like I mean I am
Other
excited for GTA
other than
6, but I'm not
GTA
gonna get it.
6.
Yeah,
Other
yeah,
than
like
GTA 6, there's
yeah,
nothing I'm looking forward to.
yeah, that's crazy. I mean maybe Doom, but that's about it. And then even if Doom, like I can just pay $15 and do a month of Game Pass and turn it back off. You know.
Now, if you want day one, that shit's $20 now.
Oh, did they raise it again?
No, remember they have the tier system. They have the day one
Oh,
tier
that's
and
right.
the not day one tier.
That's right. That's right. Fuckers. Yeah. And I mean, speaking of increases too, I think Game Pass is going to lean towards $40 by the end of the year. Hot take.
Game Game Pass needs to do what PlayStation already did since day one. Let you buy a year's worth of that shit at once. I pay once a year for HBO Max. I pay once a year for fucking PlayStation Premium. I'm done. It's out of sight, out of mind. Like, so that's another reason why I got off Game Pass. Because if you do the month, if you do the math, GameStop is $240 a year. I'm only paying like 140 one no like 140 for
Yeah.
PlayStation. Now, mind you, again, PlayStation's not the same value, but slowly, PlayStation's getting more like newish games, like hot off the presses, Dragon Age Veilguard. But yeah, but I don't know. Either way, Jill, I think $40 is up there, like doubling it. That's pretty fucking intense. Do I think Game Pass will go up? Yes. But either way, Game Pass needs to do what PlayStation does and do a yearly thing. I, they need to get off this monthly bullshit.
I mean, and they should. Will they? I don't know. Just because that's the whole reason why they've been doing it is because they can make more money over time. You know, pull more money out of people's pockets.
Do you know what's crazy? I just want to say, Drill. I should trade in my Xbox, use it for GameStop credit, and use that to pay for Game Pass.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say use that to buy Steam money.
No. Oh, maybe. No.
You can get some Steam cards.
Maybe. Oh, you know what, Drill? I might. I don't know.
Oh man, crazy talks, bro. Crazy talks. But yeah, any lasting things on your end for Nintendo?
No.
Yeah. I
I
will
just,
not be switching over to that. Is my point.
yeah. Like I said, a 50% increase for not 50% worth of product, not worth it for me. Again, does that mean it's gonna flop? No. Does that mean its game's gonna be bad? No. I'm just, I don't know.
No.
I don't need everything. I don't got FOMO. Like Joe and I were not like streamers or influencers, so we don't need. I don't need to have every fucking toy. Like I got an Xbox that's collecting dust. I think right now I'm using it as like a stand to keep my taxes. Like that's what's on it right now with my W-2s. Um, I got my PlayStation, which I'm using less and less, and I got my PC. I don't need a fucking Switch on top of it. I don't got time for that shit. I got a whole ass job.
Yeah, I hear you there. I hear you there. Um, and rolling over to someone who hasn't done their job, and now they're being owned by Tencent. I know you wanted to talk about this as far as for Ubisoft, pretty much, just failing.
Well, here's my short take on this. So for those who don't know, it's confirmed. Tencent now owns 25% of Ubisoft. And here's what I think is about to happen. A lot of fucking layoffs. A lot of layoffs. And hot take, I think Ubisoft games will get popular again. I think Tencent, say what you want about Tencent. They don't make games that don't sell. You say what you want about Valorant. Say what you want about League of Legends. Their shit, their shit's popular. I might not like it. You might not like it. Doesn't mean people aren't fucking playing it for days. I think Tencent is about to tell what I've been saying for a while. I think Tencent's about to tell people like, hey, unless you work for the marketing or PR team, stay the fuck offline. Because like I said, a lot of the press leading up to Ubisoft prevented sales. Now we talked about the quality of the game isn't horrible. It's not great. I think it's a 7. A lot of people are saying an 8, but it's like there's game sales, and we know this game sales and the quality of the game, and more often than not, those two things don't match. Um, so is the game selling well? Pretty good. It's not a flop. It's not one of the top selling games of the year, but it's not the flop we thought it was going to be. Um, was it one of the best performing or reviewed games of the year? No. Um, did all the multiple news stories around Ubisoft leading up to launch affect sales? Yes. I think affected massively. Minimally. But I think Tencent. I think is going to do two things. Other than layoffs, I just said. I think when it comes to games, when it comes to their software, their product, I think Tencent is going to make Ubisoft games fun again. And I think Tencent will change the PR. I think Tencent will change the tone or at least publicity around Ubisoft, which I think is needed. Because again, when these games come out and they flop and everyone's supposedly shocked, and it's like, you, me, you and I were looking, there's like, how are you fucking surprised this game didn't hit your sales goals? Have you not been reading any YouTube comments? Have you not seen the comments on your videos? Are you not looking at the like to dislike ratios? These are real things. These are real time feedback. It's like I said, draw the cake, like my cake analogy. You can't announce a cake coming out, insult your customers the whole time you talk about the cake, and the cake is the least thing you talk about. Yeah, I mean, like, oh, what's the frosting? Fuck you. It's creative. Well, what flavors the cake? How dare you question? How dare you question my creative abilities? Okay, well, like, what style of cake? What style of cake will it be? Your rhetoric will not be tolerated here. And but okay, like I said, Joe, I learned more about the mechanics of the game at launch from YouTubers playing it than I did in any of their gameplay videos combined. That's not good. We learned more about their company than their product. That's not good when you're selling a product. You're not selling an idea. You're not selling a tone. You're not selling a feeling. You're selling a fucking game. And I think that type of leadership, or like I said, aesthetic or tone around Ubisoft is going to change in the near future. Even before Tencent took over, like Drill, like they were a sinking ship. X Defiant closed. Shocker, they're not one, two NFT games, plural, failed. Ugh. Um, and Assassin's Creed will miss the mark in terms of sales expectations. So I've said this before. I don't like Tencent as a company. I think they do a lot of shit things, but at the same time, I think Tencent's about to bring exactly what Ubisoft needs.
Yeah, I think you make a lot of really good points. And then layoffs. I think the layoffs is definitely gonna be a thing too. I mean, Jesus, even rivals, right? They just pretty much laid off the all the American teams when it comes to the game.
The
So
one, the one, the one asterisk there is one that does settled. A lot of those teams are involved in like the pre-launch stuff. So when the game was post-launch, they're it's like not as bad. I'll say this. It's still a layoff, but it's like when you're like, pre-development team, can you
Yeah,
assist too much in post-development? Not so
it's
much,
a.
but yeah.
Oh, I see your
Yeah.
point. As far
Just
as
like a little
like
context.
this won't be forever. Like you're here for this particular phase, and then that's it.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, man. I mean, you know me, man. I haven't fucked with Ubisoft for a long time now. You know what I mean? It's been, I feel the last time I really cared for anything Ubisoft was Rainbow Six Siege, like OG Rainbow Six Siege, before it got all weird. And then they want to do a monthly service for it. It's like, are you kidding me right now?
You're
Like
telling me you're
outside
not,
of Xbox?
Trail, you're not telling me you're paying monthly just to play a non-MMO game.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are we doing here? So, and they just refuse to opt to work on Splinter Cell. I just don't understand it. The same reason why I don't understand why Sony doesn't just make another goddamn Bloodborne or at least do a remake of it. They just refuse to do it. And they want to capitalize on trying to make a bunch of money all at once. Like when Amazon makes games.
But
Um,
at least he was a skin. At least Splinter Cell was a skin in Rainbow Six Siege.
yeah, I'm just just like, yeah, it's just, to me it just shows it's like, okay, you guys are just, I don't know, you guys gave up. You guys gave up and doing a bunch of bullshit. And then Assassin's Creed Shadows, yeah, it's been them falling down the stairs like up to the release. And while the game, it's not terrible, but I can't imagine that this would make any goal financially for them. I mean, especially now. Like I remember Kings of Amalur came out, and like that game was incredible. That was still like one of the best RPGs I've ever played. Didn't make the goal per EA, and they laid off everybody. It's like, how dare you guys? So like for a game like this, where it's like I can't see it making the goal. So I'm curious to see how Tencent is going to approach it, where they will be profiting again. Obviously, they are good with certain mechanics or metrics that players like, and they're like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, I mean, a key point is the Valorant thing that you said, and are they part of League of Legends, right? Is that their thing
Oh yeah,
too?
they own Riot. Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, they own right. Yeah, so I mean, they know what players like, aside from attacking people online for giving criticism, you know what I mean? So I feel like that in general, from just like all gaming companies, like it's like no one it's like, I guess social media marketing doesn't exist anymore because developers they're just responding to people in their way versus like someone designed to do it. Like I remember those days where like someone was designed to do that, and like the devs, like all they did was either one, work on the game, or they talked about the game during a fucking like preview or something. But like now they're like taking matters into their own hands, and obviously that's deteriorating sales. So it's just like, where's the social media marketing team? Unless this is the social media marketing team, is like, I'm like, okay, this is just ridiculous at this point.
Funny thing you say that is because for the past year their social media and slash marketing has been shit, and out of nowhere, out of nowhere, like a week after launch, their Instagram social media person like became hilarious. I don't know if they like hired a new person or said, hey, you know what? Do you like like the blindfolds off, the reins are off, go nuts. And like the week after Assassin's Creed came out, like, dude, their social media, their social media was like throwing shade at like, fucking like Elon Musk. Like, say what you want about Assassin's Creed, but you won't need to pay people to play it. We're like, oh,
Oh well,
yeah,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
he said he was like saying how like the game shit or whatever, and then he was like, it was like, oh, is that what the guy from Path of Exile 2
oh
told
no,
you?
oh, is that what hey, the guy you pay to play Path of Exile, is that what he told you to say?
Right. I was like,
And
whoa, that was a sharp
and
response.
where has that been? Like,
Right.
what I mean? Like, where has that been this whole time? Like,
Yeah.
because that implies humanity. Like, that implies creativity. That implies humor. Like, that's the funniest I've seen Ubisoft be in years. And that's when they're trying to be funny. Outlaws will try to be funny. It was not funny. This game has moments where it tries to be funny. It's not funny. Like Gerald, there's accusations of them using AI for their voice acting. So I sent you some clips. It's bad.
For Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
Really?
some of the NPC, Drill, it's either AI or I'm sorry for the people involved. If humans are involved, I'm sorry. The
Hmm.
script they give you or the direction they give you, I apologize. But Drill, some of the NPC voice acting is bad.
Really
Like
bad,
some
huh?
people, like some people thought maybe some of these Montreal developers wanted to be in the game, so they voiced their own NPC, and it's not good. It's
Wow.
not good. It's just very bland monotone. Oh, we should go get her. Okay. She almost died. Thank you for helping her. What can I do to help you? It's so bad.
Jeez.
It's so bad. So again, it's like I said, that like 2 days worth of social media posts was the funniest the company's been in years. And it's like, where's that been? And this thing, Drill, you were saying how they were like tripping their own over there. One thing I kind of like, not to a point, like I want to say correct you on, but like disagree with you on, is you're saying how like they were tripling their own foot, things like that. Like not really. They were digging their own heels. Like they were like, we want this. Like everything, like up until now, these decisions they were doing, like no, we want this. Like they would again, they said like this was the goal, and it's funny enough to go because your Splinter Cell of where Splinter Cell is my SOCOM. What the fuck happened to Tom Clancy's SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs? That was still one of the
I
most
know that was
like
such a great
best
game. Such a great
best
game.
tactical fucking
Serious.
party based shooters I've ever played to this day. Like you pick your scout, then you pick your your regular soldier, then you unlock more people like your demolitions people, things like that. But like I said, you're like back to what you were saying, Joel. It's like you said, like developers just used to be developers and talk on the game during like interviews or scheduled Q and A's. I'm not telling people to like, hey, you have to be, this is, communist regime, shut up. But like when you're an employee, yeah, you know what I mean, like when you're an employee of a company and you're kind of just firing off in all directions on Reddit, on Twitter, on Blue Sky, on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and you're affecting this company, that's not good.
Yeah. No, yeah, you make some great points on that. Yeah, it's sad that that's the goal because it's like, if that's the goal, then I mean, clearly sales will speak for themselves, and it seems like they have, So maybe Tencent will listen. Maybe Tencent will be the reason why I get a Splinter Cell.
I would do Drell. I was about to ask. It'll be crazy if one of the first announcements, by the way, if one of the first announcements post Tencent is like an old IP, Splinter Cell, SOCOM. That is going to be insane. Now, mind you, you and I know when you're in leadership, just because an announcement was made on like let's say a Friday, doesn't mean Tencent is fully into the door and acclimated Friday at 5:01 p.m.
Right.
No, this 25% buyout or a 25% purchase, it really won't truly take effect till maybe holidays at the earliest. It just won't. Like even though when you and I were talking about like best case scenario, the Xbox buying Activision Blizzard, we said it early. We're like, okay, cool. If they buy them June 1st, it's not like poof, everything changes. It's on June 2nd. No, this is gonna take months until everything's fully acclimated. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Um, I'm and here's the thing, Drill. I'll say this. Now that Tencent owns it, I am both worried but excited for Far Cry 6 because
Mm,
I'm excited that Far Cry 6 will be a better game in terms of gameplay and story and things like that. But I'm nervous. This is what the Tencent does. Tencent makes fun games, but if you thought Ubisoft was bad with microtransactions, holy shit. Tencent says hold my beer every fucking time. So, I mean, as much as I gave Ubisoft shit for microtransactions, it's about to get worse. So, that's why I'm like nervous, excitedly nervous, because I'm like, oh fuck, what's Tencent gonna do to Far Cry?
yeah.
It's gonna make it better, But what else will they do? You know what I mean?
Right. No, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you're right. That is another thing where it's like, what are they going to do behind the scenes? But we'll see what happens there. But, um, so yeah, I mean, one of the last things I know you wanted to talk about Rivals really quick, right? As far as for some updates that they did, or I don't know if that was the thing you wanted to
Oh,
discuss.
just saying that they have a new season. They have a new season coming out. They got
Yeah.
new characters coming out. And Joel, because earlier in the show, you're talking about how you're surprised how this in this new age of free games, they're actually fun and worth it. And the biggest example of that in the modern day is Marvel's Rivals. Um, they got a new character coming
Yeah.
out. Holy shit. I don't know, hotter than anyone was in Concord. But dude, this character design for Emma Frost it's crazy. You've seen it, right?
I think you put it in the chat or something. You put it
Okay.
in
Did
one
you
of
watch?
our chats.
Did you watch it?
I don't know. You can re-put it in the chat.
Watch it,
I'll
and
watch
you'll
it
be
again.
like, "God damn." The I'll just get to the point. Like there's jiggle physics. They don't hold back. They knew what they were doing.
Do you think
They
they're
knew what they're
gonna?
doing.
Do you think they're gonna add more? I wonder if this is. I wonder if anyone's like upset about this. I mean, obviously for us, we're gonna be like, okay, cool, But I wonder if they're going to additionally like sexualize like Marvel female characters in Rivals. I mean, for me, like I would understand if certain people would be offended by it, but yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm seeing more cheeks, but I'm curious if that's going to be an ongoing thing. Like, oh, here's like if like Scarlet Witch looks crazy, looking crazy
Um,
hot, and all these other Marvel female characters are just going to be like, like the sexy Halloween costumes.
I wouldn't be mad.
Mm,
But I would say they kind of do it both ways.
mm,
Like
mm.
Namor has like a fucking 8-pack. He's wet all the time. Like, how are you still wet? You've been out of the ocean for a week. He's just he's just dripping with an 8-pack all the time.
How
So
are you still wet? It's hilarious.
so I know it's because so here's the thing you have to remember. This is made by a Chinese developer. And a lot of developers from especially East Asian companies like Korea, Japan, China, they have attractive characters on both sides of the fence. Like you and I, like Church, you and I were talking about like the quote unquote gotcha games where they just make hot female characters. 100% two-way street for the dudes. I don't know where these guys buy these low-rise men's jeans. Never seen them in a store. I think it's because all these characters and these types of games, they bought all of them. Like I didn't know guy jeans can have that V line to it, like a V cut in the jean, not just a V cut in their ab, but a V cut in the jean. I don't know. I tend to buy like Lee's and Wranglers. I don't know. I don't think they buy them from those motherfuckers. Um, so there's definitely a point to be made about the sexualization of women, but I think it's like I said, I think it's common in a lot of like Chinese, Korean, and Japanese made developers. It goes both, like I said, it goes both, just both ways. Whether it's like movies or like I said, anime. You know what I mean? Like Goku's had a 6-pack, since he was like fucking 12. Um, so like I said, it's weird because it's like there's a point to it, absolutely. But it's like for me at least, I get it. Just because I've watched enough, anime, read manga, um, and China's trying to get more into the pop culture world, not just with their crazy I Show Speed stream, where the running joke is I Show Speed just ruined about 50 years worth of American propaganda on China in one stream because he went in a flying car, he went to he went to all these like crazy cities and all this stuff. So with this Chinese made game, um, I think they're definitely going to keep on the path of making attractive characters. Will the next character be another over sexualized woman? I mean, I wouldn't say it's flip of a coin
uh,
because it's kind of a roll of a die. Because I don't know, there's
yeah,
a tree, there's a shark, there's a raccoon, there's how many non-humanoid beings in Marvels.
yeah.
The next character is kind of confirmed, which is Blade. which is funny because there's a lot of jokes of like we saw Blade in the last season. You remember there's that map where Blade's chained down to like this ritual, and then so people thought the next character would be Blade. We saw him. And now the next and now the running joke is like, damn, you're just leaving Blade just chained up to the fucking floor over there? Okay. I mean, yeah, Emma's hot, but can you like let Blade go? He's just still there. Um, so Blade, same thing. He's got like another six pack. He's just buff as shit. These are superheroes. And plus two, it's like chicken or the egg. You know what I mean? Are you more mad at like Rivals or are you mad at like Stan Lee? You know, you know what I mean? It's like when you read
Well,
comics,
they robbed Stan. They robbed. Oh, you mean as far as like some of those
no, like character designs.
character designs?
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean? If like you take like the comic book accurate Psylocke costume, people are like, hey now, when it's like it's not us, it's the comic, which is fair. You know what I mean? So it's like a chicken or the egg. Are you gonna be mad at the developer for doing it again, or are you gonna be mad at the developer for being, I don't know, true to the comic? I've seen Emma Stone in the comics. Did she look good? Yeah. Was she this thick? No. So it's pretty funny. There's a common argument made.
Mm.
They made her thicker. They made her bigger. She weighs more. So you can weigh more and be healthy
Yeah.
and attractive. That's
Yeah.
that's what Rivals taught me. Shit.
That's what Rivals got you. It took Rivals. That's hilarious.
That's what Rivals reminded me of. I'll say that.
Okay.
But like I'm saying, so it's like it's like I said in the comic, a lot of these, a lot of the comic, like Psylocke too. Like Psylocke, she's also weighs more. She's a heavier set figure than when she's in the comics. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
Squirrel Girl's is a thick one too. So.
I forgot about her. Thanks for it's like Joel's like, no, don't worry, Arthur. Any character you forget, I got you.
Yes,
But yeah,
indeed.
but here's the thing. Rivals, free game, other than the easy topic that is, Emma Frost dies and jiggle physics, that's in her highlight, that's in her win highlight, by the way, Drill. So her MVP highlight is jiggle physics. That's what I'm saying. Like, um, but so other than that, again, it's a free game. We got another season coming. Remember, the seasons don't expire. There's a lot of new skins coming out. Rocket has a new skin. Rocket got a buff, Jarrell. My ultimate no longer only does damage boost, it also heals you a little bit. So
Oh, that's fire.
yeah.
That's
So
fire. Yeah, we gotta get on Rivals sometime soon in the future.
they since day one they said some of the power ups are temporary and they
Yeah.
stay true to that. So Bucky, the Winter Soldier, no longer gets an infinite ammo boost from me, but now he has a partnership with Captain America. See what I'm saying? So that's another thing to keep the game active and fresh and new. It does suck to a point that they're taking stuff away, but at the end of the day, if every single character had a partnership with everyone, then it would get too much.
Yeah, I mean these are how these games are designed, right? When it comes to, I mean, this is kind of something I learned as far as just like when it comes to these live service games, these MOBAs or whatever, battle royales, they have to make these adjustments, like Squid Games, if you will, to measure, to balance out, certain things. Sometimes they fuck up certain characters for, the reasoning of people to play more for more money to be spent. I mean, it's just how it is, So obviously the player could be like, "Fuck that! I'm not playing this shit no more," But it's like I understand, like. I mean, Jesus Christ, the fucking sports in America is becoming like that too when it comes to the different rules that they're applying. It's like, wait, that's not traveling? That's not traveling. That seemed like traveling. Okay, whatever.
Or even that in terms of how sports, at least American sports, are always, they're never stagnant trades. You know what I mean, it's like, oh, he's gonna be your quarterback
Yeah, even if your
for
coach
now.
doesn't know, i.e., Luca from the Mavericks to the Lakers.
Dude, that trade will go down as one of the craziest trades. Quick semi conspiracy, semi receipts is the owner of the Mavericks. I forget her woman. People think what's his face from Sharks, the white guy with the black hair. People think he's the owner of the Mavericks. He's part owner of the Mavericks. the majority owner of the Mavericks, like most owners, is this old white person, old white lady. And sorry, just most owners are sports world. I don't make it the fucking rules. Um, Too poor to make it the rules. God damn it. But so the owner of the Mavericks is, kind of older white lady, and allegedly she wanted to like do something, but because the value of the Mavericks was too high, she would have to pay more to do it. So she's the one that fired off this trade because even without this quote unquote conspiracy theory, there's only so many scenarios that present themselves where the manager, sorry, where the general manager nor the coach knew about this trade, which is like unfucking heard of. You know what I mean? It's unheard of that the general manager nor the coach knew or approved of the trade.
Right.
And there's only so many people on the list that can tell a general manager what the fuck to do, even if they don't fucking agree with it. So, so that's the kind of current conspiracy theory, is because the owner wanted to do blank, but the value of the team was too high. Well, well, fuck you. I'm gonna devalue the team. And out of nowhere, Luka goes to the Lakers.
Wow. Interesting theory. Wow. Okay.
And that for me, that's a strong one because, like I said, even if we remove the why, even if we remove the conspiracy theory, the main question today about that Luka trade to the Lakers is who, allegedly, who can tell the general manager what to do, even if the general manager wants to say no. It's a very small list in American sports who can do that.
I would argue that LeBron knew about the trade before the fucking coach did from the Mavericks.
That'd be
You know what
hilarious.
I mean? I think he knew, but I think he knew. Oh, okay. Well, I'll be quiet. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I'll stay
Le-
on.
LeBron's all sad. What about Bronny? We're giving you Luca. Fuck that kid.
Yeah, is he like G1 League or something? It's like he's got to work on his game anyway.
Yeah. Turns out nepotism doesn't work in a physical skill in a physical activity sport. Let me phrase that. Nepotism doesn't work in a contact sport. Who fucking knew? Here's my boy, Rickety Jones. He has polio, but goddamn, he has the bloodline. I don't think he can put up any double doubles, my dude. Oh, here's my son. He could do it just like me. Go, Jimmy. Oh no,
That's
his leg.
hilarious. That's hilarious.
Polio struck again.
Last topic of the show here, kind of a blast from the past, but they're back informing motherfuckers via magazine or digital or what have you. Game Informer is coming back here. Really interesting. I wanted to send this to you, or have you start this one, Arthur. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about this?
So, Game Informer is back. So, a little background here is GameStop owned Game Informer. And when GameStop was circling the drain, as we unfortunately knew they would, funny enough, even though Nintendo's like, nah, we'll keep physical alive, and GameStop's like, where the fuck were you a year ago? But GameStop, so let go of Game Informer, and then Game Informer now is back like as its own thing. I don't know the specifics if they have a new owner or if there is like a funding, like new financial backer. I don't know that. But what we
Yeah,
do know is Game Informer is back. So
yeah.
on their actual website, it's like their main thing on their page. Game Informer is back by an OG name, Matt Miller. There's a couple.
Oh
There's a
wow.
couple. There's a couple names involved, but just just it just you know what I mean, just something nostalgic about Drell to be like Game Informer is back. An article by Matt Miller, March 21st, 2025, which is like
Wow.
what? Those dates and that name exist in the same sentence? Get the
Right.
fuck out of
It's like,
here.
yeah, that's why I was talking about the blockbuster thing. Like, what the fuck? Coming back.
So, so one thing I will say too, when it comes to names drill, is quote, the whole team has returned. The whole team is back. Like, so people worried about like layoffs. So all we know from them is the whole team is back. They are bringing back their magazine. Um, and you could sign up for that now. You can do a You can do a pre-order on it. I'm on their website right now as we speak. So quote, "We're back. We hope you'll join us. The magazine is returning along with a wealth of exciting new membership perks. Create an account to be among the first to get the full scoop. We'll send you details how to subscribe as soon as we can. We appreciate your support." You can create an account, do all this stuff. It gives you Game Informer magazine access, exclusive weekly newsletter, um, early bird founder access, and dark mode. Why dark mode's advertised in 2025 when every fucking setting has it, I don't know, but it's there. Um, Frequently asked questions: is the Game Informer really back? Is the magazine returning? Any new features? Blah 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 blah. So yeah, Game Informer is coming back, man. And do you know what's crazy, Drill? My hot take: I'm excited for it, and I might be a customer for the first 3 months. I'll say this: when we and I were at GameStop, peak Game Informer, to me,
Yeah.
peak Game Informer was better than the rest. Peak Game Informer was better than Kotaku. It is better than IGN. Um, I think for what I wanted, where it was like tips and tricks, a review, game mechanic updates,
EGM.
interviews.
Mm.
I think Game Informer was the best,
Yeah.
and I know Game Informer didn't. There was a couple of reviews towards the end of it where people are like, I don't agree with that, but for the most part, Drill, I don't remember Game Informer being that like divisive. You know what I mean? Having like the craziest like a 9, that's a 9. You know what I mean? I felt like their reviews were fair, and I feel like the certain things you needed to go to like a quote unquote video game journalist were a review, a walkthrough, um, early game do's and don'ts. Um, Not early access, but like developer interviews, publisher interviews, early scoops. I, for me, GameStop was the best of them. Um, and the reason it went down is because their owner, GameStop, let him go. For for reasons that financially were to a point unfortunately inevitable. But I'm looking forward to Game Informer. I'm looking forward to giving them a try. I don't know if I'll be in this economy, I don't know if I'll be like a permanent customer, every single month, but I think I'm really going to legitimately give Game Informer a shot and subscribe for the first 3 months. And here's the thing. Here's the other thing too, Drill. When you and I were working at GameStop, their covers were amazing. Until this day, I regret not doing what a lot of people did and save them and turn them into posters. I still remember one of our colleagues saved like I won't say her name, but one of our colleagues, Jarell, saved the Batman Arkham Asylum, saved the Batman Arkham City, and saved the Batman Arkham Origins. This was pre-night, but Asylum, City, and Origins Game Informer covers, and turned them into a poster. And I don't know, man. Game Informer, maybe Game Informer. I know in the world of the internet, but like I feel like in the modern age where a lot of game journalism is dying, whether it's untrusted or divisive, or like you and I were talking about Sung Wukong, talk about shit that's nothing to do with the fucking game. Um, I'm hoping that Game Informer might quietly be another major play, be a major player at the table
Yeah.
for modern game journalism of where we're at now. It's like the Star Wars meme. It's like here's modern game journalism, a dumpster fire. Fucking Leia's message R2D2. Help us, Game Informer. Your only hope.
Yeah, I just signed up while you were talking about it. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this, and I agree. I've always remembered Game Informer not being super divisive. They're just focused on the games, and I think there was a couple of reviews where I'm like, really, but most of it was pretty solid. And yeah, they did have they had great covers as well. I would love and I don't know if they have a podcast team as well. I would love for them to do a podcast too, and then have it do, because VGC, what they started doing, they now have like exclusive additional like podcast perks for people that sign up on their Patreon. You know, very similar to like what Kind of Funny's been doing for these past 10 years or whatever. I think they should. I think they should dive into Patreon. You know, if you want that additional support, you know, give people more content for them to buy in. So even if it isn't buying the magazine or doing the magazine subscription or whatever, access to that or whatever the case may be, have it be within their Patreon. You know, talk about these games. Have someone have faces to people that are writing this stuff, that have dope personalities that can be, you know, that can digest content on a from a visual platform. Have it. Just go all in, you know, and I know obviously that can be more, you know, money spent to a degree, but I think it's absolutely worth it, you know, and especially if the quality of the magazine or just of these writers is just as sharp, right? If it's just as sharp, I think it'll be a good thing, you know, and it would be nice to have someone to look at to watch their content, you know, versus me avoiding Kind of Funny and defiltering all their stuff, you know, because just of their incredible bias, you know. And I always say this as far as, you know, people are like, Drew, like, well, why you guys think it's kind of funny? Well, when I think it's kind of funny, it's just, I mean, for one, it doesn't make any sense for them to demonize Hogwarts when the people that designed the game, they made a game that also Call of Duty that year, and it was a great game, and they were just punished because, you know, of something that was outside of their control. And I didn't agree with that for Kind of Funny. So that just kind of devalued, that just pretty much shut the door for me for Kind of Funny. Um, so that's why I've been going to VGC, you know, hanging out with the Scottish dudes, you know, and listening to their antics and stuff. So, yeah, I would love for them to really go all out. I think it's great that the team is back. It's awesome. It's unheard of in 2025, which is a sad thing to say. But I'm really happy for everybody that's back on the team. And I would like for them to go balls to the wall, create a Patreon, start some extra content and stuff, start a podcast, have some free podcasts to do on YouTube. People can subscribe, release your magazine. If the content is there and if it's entertaining, people will buy in at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Because I did the Game Informer digital, you know, and I remember we were selling that GameStop. I mean, people were like, all right, fuck it, yeah, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like some people wanted the physical, right? And then we had to like, we'd like scan it or some shit, some bullshit. But some people were fine with the digital, right? It's like, oh yeah, you can view this on a tablet or whatever. And like on an iPad, it was beautiful. On an Android tablet, it was a fucking disaster. But but needless to say, I did the digital, you know, and it was fine. You know, I did it on my phone, I think, and I was like, this is pretty cool. It's fine. You know, I had to zoom in or whatever. But this is fine. So yeah, I'm really happy about it. I'm really happy about it. I'm excited to see what they're going to talk about, how they're going to talk about it, and I just pray that it's very different than what everyone else has been fucking doing. You know, Kotaku is just like, it's like drinking turpentine. You know, it's just like this is fucking awful.
I
You know,
still think one of our favorite moments was when you and I, like in person in my apartment, had to read that Kotaku's editor-in-chief article like 4 times, and we're like, God damn, how the fuck do you say
yeah,
so? How do you write so much while saying nothing at the same time?
exactly,
So when she
exactly,
left, we're like, oh,
yeah,
Kotaku has a chance to improve now.
yeah. My God. Yeah, it's just, yeah, that was so bad. That was so bad, you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
and then obviously like I like, and again, like, you know, while like, yeah, IGN is on that list for me too, as far as like, yeah, I don't really watch their stuff anymore because it's like weird, biased, divisive stuff where it's just like the content of the game. And there's a lot of great OGs from IGN that I do respect, you know, like I obviously talk about Greg Miller, but I'm fucking Kind of Funny, Ryan McCaffrey, fucking Destin Legary's great, Brian Altano's great, Colin Moriarty, obviously he's been doing his Last Stand media for the past like 8 years or whatever. He's, you know, killing it over there. There's another guy too, Marty Sleva, great, really good. He was one of the latter half of IGN. but he was really great too. Obviously, Charlana, or that's like her. That's her
Oh,
ex name.
a lot.
Charlana's art.
We do the same thing. Alana
Yeah,
Pierce.
a lot of peers. Yeah, great. So it's just like there's some really amazing minds that came from IGN. So it's like imagine when it comes to Game Informer, it's hard to compare like that group, and like can we have someone like that? It's like that doesn't happen often. But if you have someone who is like, oh, this is an entertaining watch, or whatever, I just feel like it could be really positive for Game Informer. But yeah, guys, start the Patreon, create some stuff that for people to get access to additional stuff, exclusive stuff, start the podcast. Like, just go all fucking in. You know what I mean? I'm all in, man. There's so much bullshit out now. I'll support y'all. Support y'all, little Game Informer. You know what I'm saying?
And Jarrell, I'll tell you this, man. There's a reason I've had a smile on my face. I forgot because Game Informer was paired with GameStop. Game Informer had the most up to date and yet easy list of games coming out. When we go to IGN's website or Kotaku's website, it's like a
Yeah, filter
hodgepodge.
through the bullshit.
Dude, like I'm so happy. Game Informer right now has the best yet has the most thorough yet easiest list of games coming out for 2025. And I'm already like, we're back, dude. Like that was the thing is because like I said, because GameStop paired with what? So just to elaborate a little more, because GameStop paired with Game Informer. Remember, GameStop, as we all remember, even as a customer or employee, it was like pre-order, pre-order, pre-order. So because GameStop's like, you know, customer basis or like what I can't think of the word, but like plan, and then there's a fucking word behind it. Game business model. One of GameStop's business models was around pre-orders. Game Informer always had the most up to date and like most thorough list of games coming out for the year, regardless if it was a port or remake or like hey, this game comes out on PC day one, it'll hit consoles in December, boom, it'll show up twice. Bam, comes out February 2nd for PC, boom, December 12th, consoles. And scrolling through this list, I'm like, dude,
It brings me back. Yeah, it brings me
yeah,
back. This is exactly how like the magazine would show all that stuff. Yeah, it's like thank you, someone who could just give me the fucking games,
like everything,
the game
like
content. Give me the
like
information.
like even like Oculus, like Oculus Quest 3 VR, just all this stuff. I'm like, and here's the thing, Drill. If you look at these games that have already come out, the hyperlink to read the review, simple, genius, fucking genius. Why don't more people do this? Why don't more people do this?
Right,
Oh, Resident Evil
right.
3,
Real
dude.
journalists.
Drill. Even if you're not a fan of it, hey, Resident Evil 3 came out on iOS on March 18th. They have a review right next to the release date. Just click it. It's right there. Oh,
Right,
this is
right,
so, oh,
right.
I miss
So
this.
easy, so easy to clean. Yeah, yeah.
I miss the crisp, clean, and uh uh the ease that was Game Informer. And it's like, oh, we're back, man. Like again, I know because I know that, like I said, like I said it. I've added to the argument. Fuck that. The word game journalist is now associated with distrust, biased, being fucking wrong. um, but I'm hoping for a light that come on the third day. Look to the east. Look to my coming. Game Informer's on the hill. You know what I mean? It's Gandalf the White to save Helm's Deep, and Game Informer come on the hill, man, with the Helium charged. The fucking give a light at the tunnel of possibly unbiased, good, concise yet direct game journalism. And I'm hoping they don't become another in the list of just, yeah, this game's great, but this game about Chinese mythology isn't diverse. 3 to 5. Like motherfuckers,
Right.
like you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I hope it doesn't
So
get to that.
I'm hoping we don't get there. That was from Game Rant, and that was disappointing because Game Rant's not
Very,
really known for that bullshit.
very
And it's
disappointing.
like, hey, Shocker, Drill, Shocker, not to rabbit hole too much, but it's like, Drill, if like, oh look, a game comes out about Filipino mythology, where how come there's no Africans there? It's like, well, so the first word, so before the word mythology is the word Filipino. So with Wukong, before the word mythology is the word Chinese. And so again, it's just, fingers crossed, I'll be really disappointed and we'll definitely talk about it if they become another among the long list of shit, biased, cringe, distrustworthy fucking journalists, but Matt Miller and his team at Game Informer. I'm rooting for him. I'm hoping for the best. I'll give him a chance, and I'll be a customer for 3 months.
Yeah.
You got 3 magazine temps to get me.
So you got 3 magazines.
You got
What do you got?
yeah. I'll give you 3 chances. I'll give you 3 strikes.
Yeah, see, I'll give y'all to the end of the year. I'll give it to the end of the year and see what y'all cook up, because there's a lot of shit, right? I want to see how they're gonna handle this Grand Theft Auto situation. Like, and then obviously some of the games aren't even mentioned.
Oh my
yet.
God! Sorry,
They got a lot of stuff to prove to me, But I'll give them the time. I'll give them the time. There's a lot.
Do you know? Sorry, my camera's freaking out because I'm wearing black. I have black hair. Augmented reality doesn't do well with black.
Yeah.
Do you be a crazy nostalgia moment? Do you know? Well, I know you know. What's the voice actor for Solid Snake?
David Hayter.
Do you know what's about to be a crazy wild nostalgia moment? Is seeing a David Hayter interview in Game Informer.
Ooh, and that cover too. That cover would be pretty fire.
Solid. I'm looking right here. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater comes out for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC August 28th. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know what I mean? Like that screenshot of like an interview with David Hayter presented by Game Informer. I'm like, what is this? 2010? What are we talking? And that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be a weird nostalgia moment, like in 2025, to see David Hayter, an article on Metal Gear Solid, on Snake, and
jeez,
you see what I'm saying?
If they do that digital, it's funny because I had an iPad for a certain period of time and then I returned it and I got something else. I might have to buy an iPad again if I do the digital Game Informer. I would like to.
I think your ROG, if you do the right of ROG Ally, depending how you want to use it or the screen size, that might be suffice.
Yeah, it's not as
It's not good for reading.
Yeah, I mean, I can, it's a computer, like, essentially, but like as far as like playing the games, like I don't know if it's good.
It's good for getting dubs. It ain't good for fucking reading.
Yeah, like I would probably invest in like an iPad 11, like.
Is that what they're on now?
No, they're on like a bunch of crazy shit. But as far as like the iPad, that is like just like every like go lucky, like you're not trying to do a bunch of stuff. You just want like a decent iPad. They're on iPad 11.
Yeah, okay, you can get this cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like $300-400, which is very cheap in iPad world. But yeah, man, very excited about Game Informer. That's why I was like, let's close out on Game Informer because that's gonna bring
on hope.
That's gonna bring hope. Yeah, let's end on hope. Let's end on hope. So by the next episode, I'm going to see if Church can get his ass in for at least a couple of minutes to talk about South of Midnight because I know he's going to play it. He's probably been playing it.
I was going to say, it's like so much rating a good note. Church better fucking be here. God damn.
Well, I mean, South of Midnight, it'll officially be out on Monday, I guess, for everybody else. I know he's been playing it. I'd like to get his thoughts. So that's kind of
I'm playing, like I said, I'm well, yeah, another thing to end on. I'm going to get Game Pass for another month. Just so I can play South of Midnight. I'm gonna stream South of Midnight streams starting. I think it's tomorrow or the 8th.
Okay.
Don't quote me. Oh wait, I know. Control F. Right? No wait. I'm on the best place.
That's crazy.
I'm on the best place.
Oh yeah, you're there.
I'm a Game Informer, baby. I got this. They got me. They got me.
There you go. April 8th, according to the listy.
Yeah, April 8th.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Okay, yeah. Got it.
Xbox Series X.
I miss when games came out on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I changed it to Friday and all that shit. So, anyway. Alrighty. Well, that's a good way to end the show here. I wanted to wrap that up, but yeah, definitely excited for that. I subscribed already, so I'm like, all right, y'all. What you got for me? So I probably have to do another subscription for the magazine. I just sign up on their email list, but excited for that. But again, That's going to wrap it up here for the Gameplay Podcast. Getting every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, discussing all things games. I'm one of your hosts, Jarrell. With me is my co-host, Arthur Thomas.
See you guys later.
All right. See you guys. Thanks.